Dom, good morning. Here we
Hello,
are
good morning,
again.
good morning. Here we are again, bright and early.
Fancy meeting you here.
I know.
Come here often?
Uh,
I'm great at pickup lines, clearly.
yeah, yeah. So it would seem. What are your top? Do you have like a top pickup line?
I don't. I really don't.
I
I'm
want to
quite bad
see.
at that. You know I'm bad
I'm
at
interested.
flirting.
You are bad at flirting, but I don't think I've ever seen you use a pickup line. I'm interested to see you, like at a bar, whiskey in hand.
Mhm.
You see a cute guy and wander over and say, "Hey."
It would clearly be a pun of sorts.
It would be a pun.
It would be a pun. That's as much as I know. I'd probably have to
It
call
would.
you and be like, "Hey, Dom, I need a pickup
I
line.
don't know
Help
any
me."
pickup lines. I'm terrible at this sort of stuff.
You don't need them.
Yeah, I wish. I truly do. Yeah. I was talking to Decra about this the other day, and she was like, I didn't know if you liked me for a really long time. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. It's just because I'm bad at that. I just
Yeah.
can't really do it.
That's all right. You're happy.
No, as
You
long as we're
figured it out
happy. We
eventually.
figured it out. We figured it out.
But I'm
Um,
very happy that we are here in this new
agreed.
episode. We're moving more deeper into the shadow world, more and more
Yes.
into
Step by
different
step.
sides of it. And it's so fun going back and watching these episodes because our characters as we know them now have developed so far and these relationships have so much history. But
Hmm.
in these first few episodes we're getting to meet so many new characters and enter so many new aspects of the shadow world. It reminds me of all of the earlier iterations of these relationships and where they
Hmm.
started. And it's a lovely trip down memory lane, to be sure.
It is a lovely trip down memory lane. Right, you are. And it was, for a lot of these, it was like 5, 6 years ago that we filmed them.
Yeah.
Or was it more than that? 5, 6 years
No,
ago that we
it was
filmed them, it
six.
would have
Yeah.
been like it was like 6 years ago that we filmed these things, which is
No.
just wild.
Yeah, it might be more because this aired in 2016, which
That's what I was
means
thinking. Yeah, didn't they
it might be
air 6 years
7.
ago? Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Because you were 19, correct? When
Yeah.
we started
Yeah.
filming these. So how old are you now?
26.
It was 7 years ago. We were filming these 7 years ago.
Wait, am I older now than you were when we
Than
started
you
the
were
show?
when we started filming. Yes, that's how time works.
No,
You are
no,
older than you were when 7 years
Than
ago.
you were dumb. Because
Um,
were you 25 or 26
I
when we
was
started?
25, I think. Yeah.
There we
You're
go.
32. Yeah, I was 25. Yeah, you're now older
Wow.
than I was when we started filming. Hello,
Wow.
sweetheart. We, disclosure, are a tad hungover today. Um,
Aw. Hi. I miss
Decca's
you.
here bringing me coffee. Kat says
I
she
miss you,
misses you.
Decker.
She says she misses you too. Thank you, sweetheart. I got you coffee as well. You're very welcome.
Oh my god, you guys are so cute.
So cute. Okay, go cuddle back up in bed, and I'll see you in a bit. Love you. Um, sorry, I digress.
So back
So,
to it. So also, Dom, who are we?
mm, who are we?
We have to
Like
introduce ourselves.
existentially, who am I?
No,
Where's my
Dom, this is a
power?
podcast.
Where's
We
my
have to
spirit
remind
animal?
people, in case this is the first time people are tuning in, we have to remind them who we
Right,
are and
right,
what
right,
we're
right, right,
doing.
right. Right,
So
you
who
are.
are you?
Well, welcome. I am Dominic Sherwood. I play
And
Jace.
I'm Catherine McNamara. I play Clary on Shadowhunters, which we are here to take you back into the shadows and return to the
Return
shadows.
to the shadows.
We'll get better at
It's
this
like an
intro.
echo. I don't think we're going to get it, but I quite like it that we're so terrible at it.
We're a
Um,
shadow of each other as we figured
we're a
this out
shadow
together.
of each other. Oh, there's a whole paradoxical image there, which is wonderful. Because how can a shadow be a shadow of a shadow without an image that's blocking the sun? Wonderful. I love it. Kat, why don't you
An
tell us what we're going to be
eclipse.
talking
Is
about
this a
today?
riddle?
Is it
So
a riddle?
today we are talking about episode 104 of Shadowhunters called Raising Hell. It originally aired on February 2nd, 2016, based on the books by Cassandra Clare. This episode was written by Ed Decter and Michael Rees, who became such an integral part of our show and who we'll talk about later in the season because he wrote another
Correct.
very pivotal episode that many know and love
Arguably the
and may or
pivotal
may not
episode.
be based
Episode?
on episode.
Ah,
I'm
look
trying
at
to wear an
that.
indicative T-shirt today
That's very good.
because it was also directed by Tanya McKiernan, who interestingly um, was not only our first female director on the show, but I bumped into her recently because she's over in the Arrowverse directing a lot of Supergirl and those
Oh,
other
wow.
shows. And it's, as you know, in this industry, we bump into people again and again all the time, and it's always lovely to see people who are a part of the Shadow fam out in the
Mhm.
world doing great, fantastical things.
Yeah,
And we get to meet a lot of new characters in this episode and,
we do.
explore the world of the Warlocks. Dom, do you want to tell us what this
Mhm.
episode's about?
I absolutely would love to. So, in this episode, Magnus Bane could be the key to all of the answers. The Shadowhunters have to put their trust. The Shadowhunters have to put their trust in a Downworlder to access Clary's memories. After getting a clue about who may have wiped Clary's memories, the crew hunts down the High Warlock of Brooklyn, the wonderful Magnus Bane, played by Harry Shum Jr., who is incomparable in this role.
Quite magical.
With all of the Warlocks hiding from Valentine, the team must lure Magnus out of hiding with something he can't refuse, a killer party and something very valuable. But with emotions running high, more may come out of the meeting than Magnus. Sorry. But with emotions running high, more may come out of their meeting with Magnus than just the retrieval of Clary's memories. Meanwhile, Simon doesn't seem to be himself after his recent Downworld encounter.
Indeed.
So much to talk about.
Oh, and this is something that I quite loved about the show is that our writers were so good at the very beginning at dedicating each episode to a different aspect of the downworld.
Hmm.
So we've done the vampires, we've done
Hmm.
the, and this is the warlock episode.
This is the Warlock
So
episode.
this
Yeah.
is the warlock episode. We're coming in and we're getting to see this other realm, and it they so clearly paint the picture of how different each of these worlds are and how diverse the downworld really is, and
Hmm.
also the hierarchy of each community and each society, and the way that it works, because each one, yes, they all kind of exist under the clave and in this the downworld within the shadow world. There's still such a different system in each of these cultures, and it's so fascinating to get to explore and create that and see it laid out so beautifully.
Hmm. Yeah. No, it's again, it's I think something that comes sort of hand in hand with the concept of sort of immortality is these races that we have. These different races have developed over hundreds and hundreds of years, sort of their ideal way um, of living within a system that doesn't necessarily respect them the way it should.
Mm,
um, and it's interesting that we covered so much about race, which again then was sort of reflected within um, the world, and it's interesting to sort of see how different, I guess, different avenues of culture of society have dealt with it in different ways, and
mhm.
how we chose to deal with it within the show, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a cool way of sort of looking into. It's like an anthropological study of how these different creatures within this different world have
Yeah.
evolved to live and thrive and survive.
Yeah, I was always really proud of our show in that way because we didn't shy away from those allegories. We didn't shy
No.
away from kind of, and it's something I've seen even with the gender roles and hierarchy in that way when it comes to the Lightwoods in the
Hmm.
next couple of episodes. It's something that there is so much that is archaic about the clave and about the shadow world, and it's a very divisive world, even though there is quote unquote peace. And the
Hmm.
fact that our show is able to create this kind of allegory, it's a huge credit to the writers,
Yeah.
especially in 2015. Wasn't really being
Totally,
talked
because
about
it's
as much
brave
then.
too. It's a
Yeah.
brave thing to take a stab at, and I've done a few shows now that had a sort of similar concept of dealing with, or not even necessarily dealing with, because that implies that that it is resolved, which I don't think it is. I think we're taking steps in the right direction, but I don't think we're
Right.
quite there. Um, but I've been in a few shows. So Penny also dealt with race and inequality, and the upcoming partner track does a lot of the same thing as well. Um, and it's a brave thing to do. You know, we're shining a light on something that makes people um, uncomfortable, that makes people uneasy, and that requires change, that
Yeah.
requires an adaptation of how we view the world and how the world has been working, if we want it to evolve into something that's more all encompassing for everybody. So yeah, I agree with you. Like you say, you know, we're
Yeah.
proud of our writers for this, because it takes some real balls to put your feet in the sand and say, no, you know what, we're drawing a line here, and we want to shine a light on these things because we disagree with them. And I think that's really important, and one of the more important things that we do with art in general.
Exactly. It goes back to that old, I think it's a Picasso quote. Good art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comforted.
Mm, I love that.
Which,
Wow.
isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's
Picasso, he knows
great.
what he's doing. Something else Picasso knows what he's doing on is depicting dreams, which is something I forgot became such a recurring theme in the show. It was so
Hmm.
prevalent at the beginning, and we continued it throughout, as you well know, given one of your favorite scenes in season 3.
Yeah.
But we have all of these nightmares and visions and dreams that communicate a lot of things in this first season, between the
Hmm.
Clary's portal shard and communication between her and Valentine, but also it becomes a manifestation of the Clary Jace Simon love triangle. One of the
Hmm.
opening scenes of the episode is Clary waking up from this dream of a nightmare, and this nightmare of Valentine, and seeing Simon there, and then
Hmm.
seeing Jace there, and it's or sees Jace and then Simon. I forget the order, but regardless, one of you morphs into the other one, and
Correct.
then we have a conversation about
Yeah.
it.
Which also ends
And
up being a fun sort of plot hole, I think, throughout the show. This is one of the ones that I was like, God, we just, I almost arguably overused the body shifting thing. And every time it would catch us out, we have like a rune that will make us look like somebody else. And every
yeah.
time we're like, oh, how did we not see that coming? Like, of course it's somebody else. How annoying.
Ah,
Um,
there should be
and I
like a
was just
code word
talking
or
about that.
something.
Exactly. And I was just talking about that with someone yesterday. Wink, wink.
Oh,
Because
oh,
it's something that
oh.
comes up later on in our story, and I was
Dun, dun,
talking to
dun.
said person about it. Um, but I digress.
I do have a funny story about that scene, which I
Go
think will
ahead.
make you chuckle. Just another embarrassing, clumsy cat moment.
Mm,
I now have kind of a, not a fear, an aversion to putting on a cardigan in a scene because of this
mm.
scene. Because literally all I had to do in the scene was wake up, talk to Alberto for a second, throw on a cardigan, and run out of the room. And I don't know what it was. I swear we got to like take 40 because my arm kept getting caught, or the sweater would be
Oof.
twisted, or I just couldn't, or I was just awkward about it. And I think that was the first day of the episode too, the first day working with Tanya, and I just was hoping that she would not think this was indicative of the rest of my
Yeah,
work.
just yeah. Like, oh my god, this actor is going to be the worst. I don't know how I'm
Yeah.
going to deal with, like, we have fight scenes in this and a big like stunt scene at the end. Like, how are we going to do this if she can't put
Yeah,
on a
she can't
sweater?
even put on a cardigan. Yeah.
How funny. It's funny that those little ones sometimes are like the bigger issues, you know, those little
Yeah.
the sort of everyday things that are more like, I just had one in partner track actually, where we are leaving Ingrid, who is played by Arden Cho, it's a friend of yours, and
Woohoo! Love you,
myself are,
Arden.
yeah, so we should talk about that more later on as well. But leaving um leaving an office, and I'm redoing my it's all in suits, you know, it's based in a law office, so every day I would put these gorgeous suits on, and every day I would have to do up my top button. And in this scene I'm doing up my top button, and by take 3 I was like, hey guys, we're going to need to do something else here, because I don't know what it is, but my fingers are unable to do up this button. I think we're going to have to just let sleeping dogs lie, and maybe can it be a different button? I don't know if it's a button issue. But it's funny that, you know, we train so hard in like the fighting and the stunts and the, you know, all of this crazy physical stuff that we have to do, and then it's like, put on a sweater and your body goes, nah, forgotten how to do
Nah.
that. That's going to be a step too far for me today.
Just, our minds are in many places.
Hmm.